Mm-hmm.
In all honesty. So, let's see. We have the microphone here. It's picking me up. Why don't you say anything?
Anything.
Wow. Such good... We have our sake and our salty snacks called Jagariko. Jagariko? Jagariko.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Jaguar Eco.
Exactly.
Okay. And we got our...
Just so it can make less obnoxious, sounds.
Right.
There we go.
Your obnoxious sounds.
I know.
Oh, it's like those little fry things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That was just like a salty potato chip, but less salt. Okay. Well, everyone has different nutrition.
I think you might like that one, but the Hokkaido butter, that's like...
It's really buttered. Oh, it tastes like Lay's. Oh, that's weird. It does taste like Lay's.
Wait. Let me see, because I haven't had these in a while. They were actually available a week ago, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it's back in,
stock.
In stock, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah!
It tastes like Lay's! Wow! Hello, and welcome to a very special episode. Is it special? It's not really that special. It's the first time we're doing it, and I'm kind of excited for it. But hello, it's me, your host, Tony. And with me today, I have a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, special guest?
Hey, so Taniwa back. And I'm with the wonderful Celestales. And my mind is going blank because of work and alcohol. I'm back to making great decisions. Yay!
Yay! And welcome to this. It's this episode's mostly like our tag handle, and I keep saying tag handle. Is that even the right thing? But oh well. In our description, I put controversial opinions and insane truths. Now we've given you some truths, but we've mostly given you controversial opinions. And I think it's time we finally go off into the... It's been like 20-something episodes.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I think it's time we finally bring some insane truth. So I feel like... Because I always wanted to bring information to the table and inform people in a type of way that's just us, So today we're going to be informing you about the rice wine called sake. Did I get that right?
Sake. Mm-hmm. Which most people say sake, and I'm just like, no.
No, but it is a rice wine, right?
Sake is a rice wine, okay. Yes.
That's going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quizzing you guys on it, but, for informational purposes, I want to be sure. Right? All right, guys. So, we went out, we bought some sake. You'll see the pictures kind of as they go along if you're actually watching. We have our sake here. A big wine glass because... rice wine, am I right? And we have some salty snacks to make sure that Miss Soto does not go off on the deep end, and neither do I. Because let's face it, we probably will go off the deep end near the end, but that's fine. But anyway, since Miss Soto here is our leading expert in Japan warfare.
I mean, I'd rather not bring up Hiroshima. That was like, or even before then, like, guys, really look into the history of Japan. They went through some interesting phases in their life.
I mean, we all went through some interesting phases, but
But did we ever have, like, a xenophobic ruler that kept this anti-trade law going where it lasted for hundreds of years?
Are you lying to me right now? We kind of had World War II. Technically slavery,
Yeah, but
it didn't go on for a long time.
Right, that's what I mean.
I'll give you fine. But, so, because our tour guide is Miss Sotoniwa, we will now be moving over to our Japan segment. Konnichiwa. I don't know how to say my name, but Katsune-kun, with Miss Soto Senpai.
That hurt my little kokoro.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Kokoro, heart.
Oh, kokoro. If I have to put subtitles in this thing, it'll be very funny. Should I put subtitles? I probably should.
You can put subtitles, or if I say something in Japanese, because sometimes I'll go off the deep
we'll
end.
put that on the description, not on the main text. Or should
there
we?
you go.
No, make description. All right, so Miss Soto.
Or, just because if you happen to get lost, and because of me being a communications major...
Why can't you just tell me? I don't need the dictionary! Oh my god, it's huge!
Nah, bitch, this is a textbook. Volume 1 and Volume 2.
We're doing this at her place, if anything. This date today, as we're recording this, is a Sunday, April 10th of the year 2022. Helps me keep track of, recording sessions, really.
No, it's good to have that date. That way,
right? Be like, hey, we're actually this time, or if I jump ahead and stuff. But we're getting off topic. So, Soto Senpai.
Hi.
Please refer to me as Kitsune-kun as you show me the way through our mystical red sun. Japan.
Absolutely. So, just a little bit of a background. Kitsune-kun actually, that has a meaning in of itself. Kitsune means fox.
Yes, that's my my character's last name, Tony Fox.
And then for me, Soto Niwa. Soto is outside, Niwa's garden, outside garden.
Okay.
I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense when you really think about it.
But when you get down to it, you're gonna just be like, I need all the descriptions we said, so I'm gonna make you listen to this as for an hour. I'm gonna make you listen to this so I can write down each description so I can put it in the description tab. But okay, yeah,
fair enough.
Lead the way, Miss Soto Niwa. Where do you want to start first? We have a lot of facts and but we're doing Insane Truths of Sake, so let's start with that. As we all take a nice big sip of our sake. Kanpai! Which is also something else. Kanpai.
Cheers. That's what that means as Tony takes another gulp.
Did it get stronger? What the fuck? I felt stronger. I'm confused.
Not when I'm drinking.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. It does kind of feel like it does get stronger. Although your ass you have not lived until you've had hot sake. That shit is pretty strong. Yeah. Which
is really weird because... I'm sorry, I thought I saw something. Probably the books fell. Which is really weird because... It was the books. It's really weird. Because they do serve everything at different temperatures, and it does give it a different texture and flavor, right? But we'll get back to that later, because that is also something we've noted. So lead the way, Soto Senpai, into the sake.
Sure. So, as far as, how far back sake dates, unfortunately, I haven't really gotten into that.
Keep going.
Sorry.
It's informational, alright?
Sorry, Celestales made a face and, it just distracted me for a minute. And I'm also sorry for my disgusting laugh, because I tend to just, kind of feel wheezing.
No. Just keep going.
But anyways.
It's a nice laugh.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Whatever floats your boat. So... I was watching a video of how sake is produced, and there's this one company, Asahi. Do you remember what was? I actually forgot.
I only took notes about how sake is made, not the production of the company.
Okay.
I watched the same video because factual.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'm not going to get too detailed into it, but essentially. Of course, you got to start with rice, right? Because it's Japan.
It's the main ingredient of a lot of dishes, but mostly in sake and other stuff.
Right. So, what they do is they wash the hell out of their rice. It goes through an interesting process of being steamed. Oh, it's not steamed. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and go in order. From being washed to then washed again to washing it a third time, then finally going through a steaming process.
All right.
And then that's steamed a bunch of other different times until the rice kind of has this rice cake texture, aka mochi kind of texture. Mm-hmm. It's very like soft and
it's mushy. It's kind of like Play-Doh maybe, but eatable.
I guess.
Because you can form the Play-Doh.
I know, it's just like...
It's like a nice thick paste that you can form, make a ball out of it. It's really weird. Mm-hmm. But if we want to do a lot of stuff, she was talking about how it's called semi, which is the rice being polished. Mm-hmm. It gets washed and polished because on the outside of the rice, on like the part you can clearly grab and stuff, is covered in fats and enzymes.
Starch. If any of y'all have washed rice and then you just see the water turn from like a clear liquid to like, white, like cloudy kind of liquid, that's just the starch being washed off. And that's actually how you also want to make sticky rice, right? You want to get all the starch off as much as you can until the water's clear. Right. If you have that kind of patience, great. You just want to like get most of it off if you can.
Which is funny because sometimes it will be so polished that only 50% of the rice from the starting point is used compared to the regular 90% that the common man would get.
Yeah. Japan. They're anal about everything. Which is good. I love the fact that they put their everything into their work, their company, you name it, they give their 110%. Whereas you'd think, other countries would do that. No.
An example here, it's a rice wine. So a good example that the rice is actually hand inspected. Like, literally, like, it goes, like, they're like, is this rice good enough? Mm-hmm. All right, it's good enough. They really do hand inspect it. Apparently, sake masters or something like that. Quality of sake can never exceed the quality of ingredients, which really does sound like wine, because that's what we do over here.
Right. You want to make sure that it's, not only drinkable, but just also it has to have a certain smell, it has to have a certain consistency, and it has to have that flavor, right? So,
and just like wine, sometimes they just only use their own stuff. Because, can't trust anyone else to make it how you want it. You just make it saves you money, but also, it's just how it is. And then after being polished and going through that process, everything, it goes to the Sakagura, the main brewing building. Right. Is that the name of the building? Or is it just that's what we just call a main brewing building? I don't really know.
I believe that's just the main brewing building, honestly. Because if you go from like sake company to sake company, that's what they're gonna call it.
Okay.
This Sakaguri? That's what it was. Sakagura. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And then basically they treat grapes like for our wine. They wash it and they soak it, just like she said. Mm-hmm. And then it's steamed, really, really steamed. To the point of the paste thing, she said, and then I'm not fully sure about the wine thing. That's gonna be another thing we do. Probably do like first wine because they do shipments like everyone else, so you can get wine for like a month and be fancy. But it's fermented like grapes, but not in the same way. It's fermented in Foji mode. F-O-G-G. F-O-J-I. Koji. Oh my goodness.
There we go. He got it.
Koji mode with a K and not a F.
Yeah. Well, that's just because of the consonants. Like, I'll even show you right here so you can actually get a better...
For 2 days. Just want to point. Fermented for 2 days. Which is also inspected by hand. Oh my gosh, she pulled... Glasses. It's also inspected by hand. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, this is... Oh, so what I'm showing him right now is because he's like Koji, but not, with a K. And it's because of how the Japanese have their kana, or like their alphabet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. C... It doesn't really exist. I want to say that because even if you go over... Like, say someone whose name is Catherine, right? A Japanese person will not say Catherine.
I mean, it's just like the Greek, how they didn't have F, but they had PH, which is why the alphabet, which sounds like it has an F, is spelled with a PH instead.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Right.
English. It's...
Oh my god.
Yeah, basically. That's pretty much everyone's reaction when they see the bullshit of the English language.
Yeah. English. Backwards. And then it's cold for 2 nights. And they're checking in and everything. And then it gets sent to the Toji. Is that how I'm saying that? Toji?
Toji.
Toji.
But it also depends how you're spelling it. Because there's Toji, then there's Toji.
Oh, well, it's Toji. Because it's Touji.
Toji.
The master brewer. The microphone fell backwards. Toji!
You can't mess up, like, anything in Japan. The classic example that I love to give is Shuji and Shuji.
Oh, no.
I already explained this to him.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I've explained it to you guys.
No, you haven't.
Oh, I haven't?
No.
Oh, well, then you guys are in for a really pleasant surprise. So Shuji is husband, right? And then Shuji is prisoner.
I mean, like...
They're the same thing, but yeah. Then again, in Spanish, wife is also handcuffs.
Nice. Now that we're at the brewing part, yeast is added to it. Mm-hmm. And something else. Wait, hold on.
Yeast and then the koji.
Oh, okay. I thought it was malt. Oh, no, that might be something else. Yeast and koji is added to it to get that alcohol flavor, and it's left to ferment. It's left to ferment for a month, just like wine, huh? Maybe. Depends. A lot of liquor is kind of left to kind of just ferment.
Right. And then they also have somebody that comes and inspects it like every couple of days to make sure that the consistency is right, it smells right, all that fun stuff.
But I mean, brewers do that too at the liquor places because you still have to make sure nothing happens to it.
Right.
All right.
I think that's what I appreciate about liquor to some extent. Like, by no means
that
am
we
I like
care for it more than we care for people.
Yeah. Is it wrong? Is it right? You decide.
Nice. Fun fact, the leftover stuff, just like she said, from the pressed sake mochi rice thing.
Right, the stuff that doesn't get used and is like, quote unquote, not bad, but like, it's not perfect for the next part.
Right, it's eatable and usable.
You can basically put it in like skincare treatments, they'll do that. Or you can use it for, mochi purposes. Because mochi is a rice cake. It's essentially this really sweet Japanese delicacy, really. Mm-hmm. Was it delicacy or is it like...
I say it's a sweet. What makes something a delicacy? We're not here to answer that question.
No, but that's not the word I know I wanted to use. And watch when I'm sober and I listen back on this and I'm like,
you were technically...
Fucker! This is the word! But whatever.
All right, and then after everything is pressed, apparently it's mixed with a fine charcoal powder to get rid of like stuff, which is why, on the sake bottles it says filtered by charcoal. I'm not sure what we do over here to filter stuff. That'll be a topic for another day when I get a wine buddy. I don't know who, but I'm gonna have a wine buddy.
I mean, if you want, I did live 4 years in California. I don't know.
You just want to drink all the alcohol, don't you? You're like, I want to drink everything.
you know.
Right, I'll just get you.
Hey, Celestales, I am here for you to use whenever.
She gets free stuff out of it most of the time, so she's just like, I'm here for you because if this was a business, it would be under business stuff. The sake would be technically under the business name. So she gets technically free stuff out of it. Who? She's so happy. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
Yay for free stuff.
And then, just like wine, maybe not just like wine, but it waits 3 years until it's mature after that fact. Because, after I passed the step. Apparently, it's heated up to remove the charcoal to get that clean sake.
That sake taste.
Right.
No,
not even that. It comes out clear after it's heated up. Mm-hmm. Right. Then after it's matured, before bottling, sake can then be given its other flavors, like strawberry sake, maybe, if that exists.
I'm sure some
Something.
kind of sake
I'm
exists.
not there to drink sake. I'm here to learn from you, so you probably know more than I do on this aspect of time.
Well, I mean, so for reference, we just got done with one bottle right now, right? So right now, what we are, we're gonna probably move on to the second bottle, which has this like fruity kind of taste.
Ooh, nice.
So you can, like you said, add flavors to it.
And before bottling, they also, test it through blend and flavor. Any bartender would know how they tested it. But for all those laymen out there, it's basically, sadly enough, you don't get to drink the sake. You just put it in your mouth, swish it around, be like, all right, and then you spit it out. Like if you went to a wine tasting, basically. But you technically can get drunk off of that because it still enters your system through your mouth.
I mean,
without,
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're gargling mouthwash. Do you get all of it out? Oh, no, you don't. You end up swallowing a little bit of that stuff.
She was going to say the word.
I stopped myself because I'm a good girl.
I'm making a face right now, too. Just like, okay.
I can't say that with a straight face.
All right.
I mean, I'm still vanilla. Very much so vanilla. But, yeah, no, am I innocent? Oh, fuck no. Fuck no.
I'm not even sure if this is the sake talking or not. Just a little confused. But let's get into, like, home brews. Sake is actually homebrewed as well. So it's kind of like moonshine in that sense. Because moonshine was homebrewed as well.
Yeah.
But that one was mostly because of the fact that we couldn't actually have alcohol. So there was a lot of stuff we're just, like, trying our best. Mm-hmm. Fun fact. I'm not sure how many people know this. But the amount of X's whenever you get homebrewed alcohol is basically telling you how many times it was distilled, as in filtered and stuff. So, for your safety, just so you understand why in cartoons there's usually 3 X's, because around that time, that's usually like the best time to get as much as you can. But yeah, so we have rare unrefined sake. It's called Doburoku. Not like your Roku for your TV, but Doburoku. You could tell it's unrefined because it's still cloudy. It hasn't gone through the process of filtration and other things to get most of it out.
There's also this one that I did find out from a YouTuber, thank you, abroad in Japan. Mm-hmm. Love that guy. He had that, rare sake, and it was in fact cloudy, but there was also rice still left in there.
Right, some rice grains. Because it's not filtered, it's not pressed. Everything is kind of just, you stopped halfway.
Right. But there's also a charm to that. Like somehow Japan was like, we can half-ass this and still make it great.
I mean, that's what everyone does. They half-ass. Look, we're half-assing it right now, and it's still coming out great.
Yay!
Half-assing. It's apparently it's put in malt and yeast and left in the fridge for 2 weeks and stirred daily, and then it comes out. It's a thick, pulpy sake with rice grains still in it. It should kind of give you that whiskey feel, but taste like sake because it's still sweet and have the cloudy texture of
Oh, yes, is where you want me to chime in.
No, my brain has stopped.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and help you with
pina colada. There we go. I got
it. Like pina colada.
Oh, no. And apparently,
actually, sorry, yeah, I make the horrible joke.
Was it heated or unheated? Which is stronger?
Oh, like as far as like when you have chilled sake versus hot sake?
Yeah.
I think this is just my opinion. Hot sake, it hits you faster than chilled would. Right, because we had like a few, because before we got to our glass, we had like a few shots. Like, I think we had 2 shots of sake.
I think I remember you giving me a hot sake once, but that was years ago. But yeah, keep going.
It does hit you faster. I don't know if it's just because when you heat it up, the molecules from the alcohol is just 10 times stronger.
Ooh, I'm not a scientist.
Neither am I.
I'm not a brewer scientistical.
But hey, if any of you actually are scientists and can explain this and why hot sake would get you...
Feel free to comment.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright. And last but not least on our sake binge of fun stuff to know is sake vending machines.
Yeah, you can legitimately... So here's the thing about Japan, right? I think we all pretty much know about the infamous vending machines over there.
Yes.
Pretty much for every 20 blocks, there's a vending machine. Now, here's something for you, math geeks out there. So, Japan, yeah, it's small in comparison to, say, Russia, or anything's kind of small in comparison to Russia, I guess.
I'd say, it's a smaller California, because it's a tight area, and it's technically an island.
Right. So with that being said, you can basically see a vending machine anywhere you go. You'll be walking, vending machine. You walk a little more, oh, vending machine. There's another. And it's you can get almost anything out of a vending machine. I've seen tires in vending machines.
What kind of tires?
That I didn't really get into that because I'm not really a car person. But
I mean, it could be bike tires for all I know. No, it's car tires. Oh, my bad.
I'm sure there's probably bike tire vending machines out there. Yeah.
Okay. But
you can even get underwear from there.
So anyway, it's not a coffee dispenser where it drops a cup or you put a cup down and multiple options of coffee on one machine. It is literally like a small coffee dispenser, and then you get to pick out of... Well, that one had 15 flavors. So I'm not sure if there's more or less, but that one had 15.
It depends on where you're at.
Right. So you pay 500 yen.
Which is the equivalent of $5, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. You get 5 tokens and a little cup for your sake, which we drunk earlier and you would see in the pictures. And you pop in a token, put your cup in, press a button, sake pours out. It's very, actually, just like everywhere else, it is highly informational everywhere else except America. It is highly informational about, we put nutrition labels, but I've been to Mexico and they literally put... Hey, warning, high in sugar, high in calories. Us, we're just
soda.
Candy.
Yeah, candy. Yeah.
There's a nutrition label on the back, but who cares?
Yeah, honestly, no one reads this stuff. Well, at least I do, because I don't really like to have a whole lot of sugar.
If you're healthy or health-minded, you probably would read it.
Uh-huh.
Alright, or you'll look it up and be told, hey, this is what you're supposed to be eating, and you'll just go there. But it comes up with everything. It tells you where it's brewed, where it came from, how much alcohol intake it is. It's just highly informational dispenser. Usually, even our coffee dispensers don't even tell you that much. Mm-hmm. They just be like, hey, it's walnut flavored. Okay,
walnut
and it's
flavored.
Hot. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of natural walnut flavor. You meant to say hazelnut.
Hazelnut.
Yeah. I get what you were saying, though.
Thank you. Right, so it's really funny. Also fixed the mic. I figured out why it was fault. The mic was kind of wobbling everywhere. You might actually hear that in post-production. Thank you. I am really good at my job. Alright. I'm pretty sure I lost track of the time. Because I had to restart and everything. But I'm pretty sure we're kind of 20 minutes in.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, so any more information about sake, the rice wine of Japan, and how, is it stronger than wine? No.
Are you talking how strong it is in comparison to others?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right.
Because it's filtered at 15%.
Right. So if you want to learn a lot of the alcohol content in versus Asahi, which is beer, or soju, which is the Korean alcoholic beverage, or sake, because soju, which I have tried. Woo! You Koreans know how to party.
Shoju.
No, not shoju. Soju.
You really want to fight me on that one?
Yes, I will fight you.
I was making a joke, but okay, it's fine. Soju. I'm not even done with my sake to be this angry.
Oh shit! so just for the record, he's like halfway there, and I'm like, I can chug this.
I've been talking a lot, so
okay, fair enough.
Because I've been kind of just throwing in the facts, and you've been kind of leading it in.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because our tour guide Soto Senpai. No, that's me, Soto Senpai. Sorry.
Hi, Kohai.
Kasumi Kohai. Sorry, it was me.
Kitsune Kohai.
It wasn't needed me. I'm just saying.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, how Japan goes is they're very big on respect, as a lot of Asian cultures are, right? So there's kind of like this like pyramid of power almost, right? And so you got like the bottom tier, which would be the Kohai, which is like the younger student. And then
first years.
Basically. And it's not even a student because you can be
it
a
could be anything, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying in terms of mental anything.
Right.
You're at the beginning.
Yeah, you're at the beginning and you're just barely starting something. So yeah, you'd be the Kohai. Then you have the ones that are above you a little bit, and that's the Senpai, right? And then of course the Senpai will have a Senpai, and just it goes on and on from there until you get the final boss.
Boss.
Exactly.
Boss. I just like how she said
but
it.
Even the boss has a boss.
Who is the boss of the boss and the boss of boss?
That is the real question. Anyways, so yeah. I forgot where I was going with that when I kind of like went
Kohai and Senpai, Soto Senpai and
Hi.
Right?
It also is very much so like age as well, because Celestales is younger than me. I'll say this right now.
Not too young.
Well, of course not too young, but I'm 27.
Why would you mention it? But okay.
And then he's like...
Don't mention my age. Stay away from my age. I'm a young spring fawn.
Age is but a number. They're... Like, I can probably guarantee you that the audience, viewers...
I'm pretty sure most
commenters, they're probably just like, wait, you're 27? What the fuck?
I don't know about that, but okay.
Well, yeah, because they probably are just like, but you don't act like it. I'm like, yeah, I should act like it.
Oh, no, it depends on how you should act. I give plenty of people just wise relationship advice, or just advice in general about how to deal with life and everything. Doesn't mean like I should be doing it. Okay, whatever.
Right? I'm just people would be coming to me for advice on like relationships or like you have your life put together, and I'm over here like right.
What?
Yeah.
What? I barely have my life put together, and I started a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
What? This one? I have my life better than this one.
Yeah, but
no offense.
No, none taken, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we cool. We cool.
Did you want to get the second bottle?
Oh yeah, we can go ahead and get the second bottle.
All right.
And while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and go on to a different topic because we've always talked about how great Japan is, but just like
any other place,
or just you. I always like to bring up that coin.
Grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Coin flips and whatnot. I mean, just anywhere is kind of bad. It's just how you deal with it and how it works for you. Exactly.
So we're gonna have a brief intermission. I guess I don't know how you would like do that.
Pretty much an intermission.
Intermission.
You won't notice it though.
Right.
But we're giving you the facts because if this was streaming, yeah, there would be like something. But we're in a place where we're not near the fridge, so we'll give us some time. All right. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. But
probably not even then. Just.
They won't know. Yeah, they won't notice. It'll be a second. Let's go. And welcome technically back for us at least, as Dea does the woman thing for Japan and poor for me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. So here's another controversy.
Bam! Let's go. I started off really
well.
Yeah,
started off with it. So here's the thing. That is in fact something that's kind of expected. The kohai, out of respect, will pour for their senpai. Because in Japan, here's what they do. You would think that after a long, hard day at work, you would just, drive home and maybe put on one of your favorite shows or, do some light cleaning in the house, prepare dinner.
Yeah, fuck your coworkers. Fuck them.
Japan, they're like, no, the boss will actually go out and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, it's not legally allowed for us, but because of the whole hey, you could jump, get promotions that you don't really deserve or stuff like that. For them, it's just hey, man, we're a team. Team independence? No. Team dependence.
Right, and that's another thing about Japan. They're not independent, it's very codependent, right? So, in a company, everybody puts in the same amount of work. It's not like here, where I guess it's more you have... of course we do have, management, and then you have, everyone underneath, obviously. But Japan, it's they're like that, but it's not as rigid as we are. Which is strange, considering the culture.
The way it works is basically, their entire setup, probably because of how small it is, there's a lot of people there. It's all about trying to be as inconvenient as possible, but also work together, no matter who you are.
Yeah, so, in the... I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, not the movie, wow, the anime Agretsuko, you would have the boss, in the center of the room, and because he has the big table.
He's looking at you, he's watching you.
Right. And then, you have everyone else around you. But that's the thing in Japan. The boss will be in the presence of his coworkers.
He's also doing work, too. Mm-hmm. You can see him doing work, too.
Right. And,
because if... He's working with you to get something done.
Right. It's not just a lot of management here in America or anywhere else where it's I'm the boss, right? And you're the underlings.
Right. And they'll make you do the menial tasks while they do the paperwork stuff. So they rather you not bother. But in Japan, it's more we kind of all do the same task.
Right.
And some people just get more paperwork than other people.
But everything in there is balanced, which I will admit I wish America and a lot of other cultures would adopt that. I don't know. I can't speak for other cultures, but yeah.
The problem there is because of said dependence, you are actually required to join up with people. You have to be in a group. If you're not in a group, you're weird, you're a misfit, who the fuck are you? Get out of here, you weirdo. You stand out a lot. And you get that kind of anxiety vibe. And that anxiety vibe really is weird. You think you get that in high school? Try going to a different country that you just stand out because everyone looks the same. And they're just you get that feeling that everyone's looking at you. You get that here, but that's multiplied over there.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, if you were a foreigner with blonde hair, blue eyes, I can guarantee you're going to get some stares in the office, for sure. Not because they're trying to be rude, but it's just, that's not common over there. You'll see, of course, the blonde, Japanese person. Is it natural?
No.
Not always. Not always. Some are because, you have, a Japanese guy marrying a Filipino. Yeah. Or you have, Mexican, Japanese. What other ones? The list goes on. Gosh, in fact, there's a lot of channels that I have subscribed to where it's here's an English person, from Britain, and then she's engaged to a Korean.
You gotta conform, people. Independence? No. You gotta conform. You really stand out. Making friends is hard. There's a lot of societal rules and stuff that you...
Yeah. So with that being said...
and you are an outsider forever, but you can make it work. Just wanna... throw that in there for...
Right. To elaborate more on what Celestales was saying, individuality, it's a thing, but
not really.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you're going to form a group.
If you stand out, that's kind of almost taboo in a way. And you're not really going to get anywhere for standing out, which I must admit, it sucks. That part of Japan does suck. Because I've always been the kind to, like, not conform.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see from, like, the previous episodes. So, yeah, that part of Japan, I must say, really does suck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. For any Kirai Pamu Pamu fans, by the way, Kirai Pamu Pamu is a fashion icon in Japan, or at least was about a couple of years ago. If she still is, hey, awesome power to her, because she's unique, and I like that. And that's what she's known for. If you've ever heard her song Pon Pon Pon, you'll see that she's very much so out there. But yet she's accepted by, Japan. But in her early years, and I'm talking like teenage years, that wasn't the case. She had to basically live a double life, right? So she would actually hide her clothes that she wants.
And it's not in a good way, like we put it in media where you live a double life.
Oh yeah, this is no Hannah Montana shit where get the best of both worlds. Nah. It's more like she had to hide who she really was. Otherwise, she would get into arguments with her parents. I think at one time, oh gosh, I really hate to like bring this up because it just really saddens me. The one who was against it most was in fact her dad.
Well, woman equality over there kind of sucks.
That too. And we'll dive into that topic a little later. But like I was saying before, she would get a backpack, and that would just be the clothes that she would actually wear, because she lived in Harajuku, and Harajuku now, that's like the fashion icon, where it's like vibrant colors, neon, you see that, and that's normal over there. That's the Harajuku district. But it wasn't as accepted as it is now, right?
Yep.
That's kind of just how it is. You can't really stand out in Japan, because if you do, you're like a walking target.
Yep.
But then on the woman, the equality, yeah.
They're working on it.
They are working on it.
Japan apparently is really late at things. Their technology is not as advanced as everyone else. They're finally kind of working on it. Depends.
Yeah, it depends.
Depends. Things are expensive. Have late releases because it's an island, off kind of to the coast of stuff. Mm-hmm. It'll be kind of like going to Hawaii or Alaska, where you're kind of over there, far away from like main areas, so you don't get the same kind of stuff. Right.
Which hey, that. It kind of makes sense, because, you're kind of isolated from everything else.
Exactly. It's like going to Australia. What else? Besides, women are kind of looked down upon, and equality sucks, and they're working on it. There's normal discrimination. And by normal discrimination, I just mean, like, the weird stares. We're going kind of back, because I forgot to add this. You kind of get, like, you can't rent an apartment, because you're technically a foreigner, and they kind of expect you to kind of not do things because of how technically you were raised, which, kind of makes sense, because let's face it, anybody who's ever gone to a different country sucks, because, you're not used to the rules and stuff, or you're just a bad kind of
You're a bad apple.
You're a bad guest.
And you've seen that. The classic videos that I would watch, which I can't watch anymore because I'm just like, anytime I watch these videos, it's like, you're kind of making me feel bad for being American, right?
Hey, I'm an American man.
Right. The one videos the videos I'm talking about, which of course you guys probably might already know, when Americans go over to England, Britain, and then they try to, like, interact with those soldiers.
Oh, those guys. Mm-hmm. Which, it's mostly because it's, to us, that I'll give them 5-10%, maybe 15. I'll go with 10. I'll give them 10%. It's the thought that these people will not break. Because you see our military people, and we try to teach them to never break. but these guys never break. And you're just like, that's amazing. Now, should we do the things we're doing to them? No. That's just being a dick.
Right, I've seen a bunch of these TikTokers where they'll go up and they'll dance right next to them, and this, I swear, this guard just has the look of like,
Can they
American.
respond? Can they respond?
Not really. I've actually watched a video on that. They lose a little bit of their pay, and they could potentially get fired.
Damn, I just want to, like, if you got lost, he would just be like, can I ask a question where to go? And they're probably just like, I want to help you, man, but I can't. And it'll be like, sometimes you're just like, man, I just want to help this guy. This poor guy is lost.
Right, and I'm sure that they're not trying to be, like, I don't really think of them as rude, because here's the thing.
It's your job.
It is their job, and it's just culture. Yeah, they speak the same language as us, but
they are the guards of castles and kings and queens, and you're just like, bruh, they gotta take this seriously. Who knows what happens?
Right. Which is why whenever they're parading, they always like shout, "Make way for the Queen's Guards!"
Yeah.
That's just them doing their job. They have to patrol. They have to stand guard. Like,
so,
yeah.
Big TLDR. Stop being dicks when you go to a different country.
Please.
They understand that you're a foreigner, and they're okay with you making mistakes like that. But if you're going over there and you kind of know what you're doing, and you're doing shit because you're being a dick, like going to the suicide forest and making a fucking stupid ass video.
We don't talk about that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We don't talk about it. But it's a good example, because technically you kind of went to a dark memorial and you made a joke about it. That's like going to a Civil War memorial about slavery or the people that fought there.
Which, funny enough, does happen. I've seen videos of Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers.
Exactly. And you go in there and, pretending you're doing something stupid. I don't know what they do in there. I just know they're doing kind of just like, what are you doing? But yeah, so there's that. Now, as we get into like jobs and don't being idiots, we do gotta point out a lot of stuff. All right, these tips will help you, because depending on where you're from, you kind of expect it. All right, so should I start with the housing or the food or something else?
Let's see.
Should I go from like if you woke up?
We can.
All right, so you wake up from your neighbor probably yelling at his wife or closing the door or being, what's that word when you're superstitious? Superstitious
or suspicious?
Yeah, superstitious.
Okay.
Where you're just like you like if you throw salt over your shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you do other things. So you woke up because it's a tight area, because it's a small island. The walls are paper thin. Not actually paper thin. That's an exaggeration. But they're thin.
Oh, yeah.
You can pretty much hear your neighbor snoring next door. Which I feel bad for some people, unless you...
Oh, no, this is why love hotels exist. For that reason right there.
Really? Oh. I mean, they do sell you noise-canceling headphones because of that reason. I think you might get a good deal off of that. Who knows?
No, but like... But yeah, that's exactly why love hotels exist, because... So, Japanese apartments, no, you can basically hear your neighbor having a conversation. And they're not even yelling, but you can still hear it. That's just how thin the walls are.
If you watch Zootopia, a good example would be when Judy has her neighbors yelling, and you can hear them right next door. Hooray for Zootopia, for getting something smart. It's because those places exist. Mm-hmm. It's just that for Japan, it's probably more... there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so you woke up, you're in your apartment, and you're just like in a tight apartment. Like, I mean smaller than a studio apartment. And studio apartments are basically one floor is everything except the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Maybe a pantry. And you're just like, okay, time for food. Food is small.
Well, okay, so here's the thing about what you said about that one, right? So, in Japan, they're smart. And we actually, we can attest to this, we actually had a bento for dinner. So,
yes.
If you notice, there's a lot of food in a bento. And if you pay close attention to it, it's all portioned properly to where you get enough to where you are satisfied. Why? Because, sometimes you'll have your soup. Then, of course, you'll have rice. And then you'll have your meat dish. Then you'll have vegetables. Maybe you'll have a few side dishes here and there. Mm-hmm. And that's fantastic. Because in your mind, and this is really true, like, there's been a lot of, like, tests and, what is it? What was the word I'm looking for?
My problem here is it's not because they're not being smart about it. It's the fact that if you were to move from Texas to Japan,
I want to see that. I want to see that.
I came from an area that I would say medium portions. I came from an area where you're just like, it's in America. It's got medium portions, so it's like, yeah, you can get a small plate. But you can also get, like, a nice, decently sized plate, depending on where in the area you go. I come over to here, everything's huge. It's like if the Whopper is known for being a big sandwich. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, they're like, hey, get 2 Whoppers. You're just like, bro, I can't even finish the first Whopper.
Right. Mm-hmm. And also, for, like, our international viewers, if you're out there, first of all, hello! Second of all...
Or if you came by somehow. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. The whole saying is everything bigger in Texas? Yeah.
Yeah, because portions for kids are actually different compared to, like, other countries. Mm-hmm. And what they're serving is also different. Because it's just, like, your country serves you how you want to be served, or they care more about, like, how stuff happens. And that's depending on what type of government you have, because each government is different. It has its pros and its cons. We're not saying whose government is bad. We're literally talking bad about Japan and some good stuff. So it's like we're kind of there. But it's just that's just how it is. Japan's portions are portioned properly in a smart way, and like some other governments where it's made for you. Mm-hmm. Right, it's supposed to be at that limit where you're like, you're full, but you're not stuffed, so you don't gain weight, and you're pretty much able to go. Yeah.
It's kind of like that saying, like, you eat with your eyes. You really do. So with Japan, they take that concept, and they're just like, okay, they make, portions of, like, a lot of these things. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, you can legitimately get full off of, like, a bowl of rice.
Nice.
Because it's just so starchy.
Nice.
Right? And then, of course, when they add meat in there and then they give you vegetables and everything's just properly balanced, that just makes it even more fulfilling. Yeah.
Yep. Now, we've covered food. Mm-hmm. It's time to get dressed. The problem here is, because Japan is, like...
rigid? You can say it.
Rigid? I was going to say one big ethnicity. Just one big... Like, apparently foreign populations would be 2%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right. So, clothes, which I have dealt with because depending on where you go in America, you can actually get different numbers for clothes, depending on how it's cut and the fashion of that area. Like, if you go...
Take it from somebody that actually works at a men's retail store. Hello!
Yeah, your clothes in Texas would be bigger because they expect that. Instead of, let's say, what's a good... I'll just say Florida, because I notice over there everyone's kind of like Model S or trying to be Model S because it's Florida.
Go for it.
Right? So your clothes over there are cut smaller because they expect you to be smaller.
Right.
So over here in Japan, most of their clothes are fit for Japanese people.
Right.
Now they have big and talls, but it's gonna be kind of weird because you still might not get it, and because the fashion is never meant for big tall people.
It really isn't. Like, if you look at the average size and height of, like, a Japanese man and woman, you're just going to kind of look at that and be like, huh? Mm-hmm. You're going to be very confused. A YouTuber that I love, I'm going to go ahead and say her name, Aki Dearest.
Aki Dearest.
Yes, I love her channel so much.
Love it.
She is now living in Japan with her boyfriend. Yay! Anyways. Woo! Well, it's because they had a long-distance relationship. I feel that pain. so much. And they had that for a while, but then she was finally able to get a visa and move to Japan and be with her boyfriend. So, with that being said, she realized, oh yeah, she was missing out on like a lot of the stuff here in America. She has to get some of her cosmetics and some clothes and other stuff sent to her from her family because
imported.
she can't get it over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because and
that's normal though.
Yeah, it's normal, but I also just don't like this because in Japan, if me and Tony were to go over there,
there's no clothes for us.
No, there isn't. They just be looking at us like, you fat, and I'm like,
yeah, no. Which is funny because for everyone has a different BMI index. Wait, I said that wrong. Because BMI,
we know what you meant.
BMI means body mass index, so I just said BMI index, like RIP and peace. Thanks, guys. But
moving on.
Moving on. Thank you. Some people in America would be considered.
Like, you can pretty much
slight obese, even though to other people you are considered.
You can pretty much be a model here in America, and then you go to Japan, they're like,
you're obese.
Yeah.
Fatty. Fatty too.
And that's another thing I must say about Japan is just like, why?
It's really rigid. Alright, now we've gotten our food and clothes and stuff, saying that things are expensive in Japan because, let's face it, things are very expensive in Japan.
Yeah, and if you want to go for the basic, like, because of how they are as a society, if you want to go to Japan, well, we're just going to take the fact out that you're a foreigner, because if you're a foreigner going to Japan and you're trying to live there, good fucking
technically, I think you get more money by USD, if I remember correctly. If you go USD to yen, if I remember correctly.
Are you talking like how much a dollar is here versus a dollar over there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just going to be like, so 96 cents, let me see. A dollar for us, for like our dollar would be like 96 cents over there, 94 cents, something like that.
Right, we have a good ratio. It's kind of nice for us to move over there.
Right.
But yeah, things are expensive. So.
Yeah. If you go to if you go to a kombini, that shit is like inexpensive as hell. You can get.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of a kombini. It's basically a corner store.
Right, but like they're nice. You can get a healthy meal at a kombini though.
Yes, that is also very sad.
I like that. Like here, like our convenience stores, we have the Circle K and 7-Eleven where like you're gonna get a crusty hot dog.
I'm not even talking. I said corner store, Dan. You know what a corner store is?
Enlighten me.
Oh, gee. So it's basically like. You ever saw those pictures where people would live up top of a grocery store?
That's just a thing in Japan, but yeah.
Yeah, that would technically be a corner store. It's basically that little shop that sells stuff in a small area and you just walk towards it.
Yeah.
It would be like a convenience store, but the difference here is it's not as branded. So you're kind of dealing with all, like, you deal with wackos, but now you're dealing with like free roaming wackos. So like, depending on who runs it, different stuff is there, but you really do get just like, hey man, spare some change. Hey man, why don't you buy some of this Old Navy stuff I have? And you're just like,
okay.
What? Okay. But yeah, so like, there's a difference in stores, but that's a totally different ballpark, and I'm really we're sticking in Japan. We're just giving you examples of how that might look and think.
This wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Well, I haven't tried it yet. Let me just
let
me try the second sake. She's already beat me to it. What's you got a crack in it? Oh, it's weird. Oh.
We're not going to name the brand, but this one was like, I've tried it before, and I don't remember it being this exactly.
It's nasty. I mean, like, I could still taste the sake, but that's the aftertaste. The original taste is too cloudy for that.
You live and learn, I guess.
Live and learn! Sorry, it's a Sonic song. Do you want to do some home papers, or should we go to work?
Home papers.
Do we want to do home papers or go to work now?
All like the documents and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the home papers.
Oh, I just want to point out, there's no return policy.
Yeah, no, you buy it, it's yours.
Yeah, unless, like, it's very, like, even then, like, you might not, even for, like
the most basic
even
thing
if it's
you can...
broken, you might not get it back. You
right.
might not take it back. They'll probably have it under warranty and be like, here you go again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No return policy. That is a freedom that, we abuse a lot over here, but that is a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly because we can't trust our government sometimes, and so you want the money back. Or the corporation. It's a little iffy.
That's the thing about Japan, though. They're so freaking anal. Like, I would be surprised if I went to Japan and got a defective item, because they're so... They inspect, like we said, with the sake.
They take pride.
Yes.
Right.
And it's in everything. If you go and have fast food over there, they're going to take pride in their work, and they're going to give you 110% service and, 110% food, even though it's like...
some countries do that because they take pride in their work because they love their job. The reason why we don't love our job over here is because there's a lot of kind of BS going around with being in our jobs. And, it's just standard stuff.
I know that feeling after the day I had. Which, by the way, thank you for the sake, because
you're welcome.
I can't remember anything today, which is great.
We were talking about home documents, right? Now, Japan has, because technology is not as advanced in certain areas, they do a lot of paper documents.
They're advanced in technology.
I said in some areas. Because they still have, I'd say maybe a couple, like, old printers and fax.
Japan is basically a nursing home.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But so, there's a lot of...
old school
stuff, yeah. So, there's a lot more paperwork. Now, keep in mind, having a lot of paperwork is not bad. It's just bad that you have to do it handwritten. There's a lot of, like, going to the bank. There's a lot of handwritten paperwork. That you usually don't have to do it because it's right there digital. You can kind of pull up your own code to kind of fill in the blanks. Now,
kind of imagine when you go to get your first apartment, right? And the paperwork behind that. Imagine that, but in Japan, it's for pretty much almost everything. Yeah. Getting a job? Like, I kid you not. And this is normal. They're gonna, in the interview process, they'll ask you questions like, oh, hey, how many siblings do you have? That's normal over there. And you gotta answer it.
That's fair, I think. It's kind of weird, but I don't get the question. I don't get the reason behind the question.
I don't know. I think they're just, like, extensive.
They want to know what type of person you are.
I guess. But you gotta admit, like, if you're like a foreigner going over there, you're probably gonna be like, why do you want to know that information?
Well, I don't know. Depends. If they can give me a reason, I'm okay with that. Mm. Right.
I'm sure. Well, that's just it. You just gotta answer.
Right. So now we filled out our extensive paper routine. Because it's not work, because it's a routine. I have to do it every day. Mm-hmm. We're going to our job. We bought a car. But sad to say, you know how you go into a mechanic to get your car inspected, or it's already been inspected by the dealership. You get your car inspected every year. Pretty much. And you pay a fee for it. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty smart because they want to make sure everything is safe. That's like a key thing. They want to make sure everybody is safe and in control. Now, does that open jobs? I feel like that's pretty good. You open jobs, you make sure that your cars work. It's like having a mechanic.
I think they also do that because in Japan, because it's such a crowded area, right?
Oh yeah, one accident will just destroy everything.
Basically, yeah.
Right. Because I also want to point out, time is a key factor. If everything runs on a timely manner, that portion size is exactly what we're talking about, but on a time scale. So now it's like everything's measured. If one thing steps out of line, everything's kind of gone wrong. Right,
which is why a lot of their bullet trains or Shinka. Oh wow, I actually forgot the word for that one. Shinkansen, I think. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So like, Tony gives me or Celestales gives me a lot of.
Kitsune Kohai.
Oh, that's right, for this episode. Kitsune-san, he gives me a lot of credit.
Kohai! Say it. Say it. I'm your Kohai.
Okay. Kitsuneko. Hi.
Thank you, Soto Senpai.
Oh, sorry, I haven't been called senpai in a while, and it actually touches my heart.
Okay.
I'll move on. Yeah. Oh fuck. So also, just so you guys know, I'm not trying to like.
Bullet trains.
Bullet trains. Okay, but I do want to like make sure that everyone knows. So I haven't been properly diagnosed for this, but I'm pretty sure I have it. ADHD. So if I get distracted a lot, yeah, sorry.
It's normal. You didn't have to bring that up, but okay.
No, I just because like I'm sorry. I listened to like the last episode where I was like full on drunk and I just want to shoot myself. I legitimately want to shoot myself.
Bullet trains. Timely difference of the bullet trains.
Timely difference. So everything on there, it like you said, it has to run on schedule. And with that being said, a lot of the population in Japan, they don't know how to drive cars because, well, why would you want to? You have a bullet train that can take you from like Tokyo to Harajuku in like 15-20 minutes.
Yes.
So it's like it's very convenient, and over there it's actually cheaper to get like a yearly pass for the Shinkansen than getting a car.
No, even then, I've been to New York subways. It's kind of like you're getting a good deal depending on how much you ride that dang subway.
Yeah.
So so everything's on a timely schedule. It's expensive, maybe not the bullet train, but
I swear, is that like? Can you actually see out of those?
No. I mean, like I can see you, and it's a little bit clearer than my because I'm wearing glasses, and I can see a little bit more deep, but it's still kind of wavy.
Oh, sorry, also, Celestales just kind of got my glasses, and he's wearing them, and it's like...
Oh my god, you're farsighted. You're not nearsighted.
No! I'm farsighted!
Anyway, so yeah, car inspection costs. It kind of opens up, like, more jobs, which is pretty nice. At your expense, though, because now you've got to... It's like a yearly process, kind of like taxes, where you have to do something every year. Every 3 years, maybe. And you pay a fee for it. It's there. Which is fair. Sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. So now you're at your job. We already just talked about the normal discrimination, what you gotta do, and you can't stand out, and women are looked down upon, Let's talk about your coworkers and how romance is weird.
Oh, that. I mean, okay.
Romance is not weird. It's just taken to a different standard than because you kind of don't care about the independence part.
Oh, okay, so, like, here's the thing. If you want to, like, date in Japan, I want to say, first of all, hand-holding would almost be taboo over there. Not taboo, but, like...
How lewd of you.
Exactly, right?
Which is lewd is, lewdity? Lewdity? Yeah, pretty much.
Lewd. Yeah, lewd...
I mean, we're pretty sure you know what lewd is. I just wanted to make sure.
But the definition of it is, like, nasty.
Yeah, nasty, yeah.
But yeah, so hugging or even kissing over there in public that's a giant
public displays of affection, or PDA, are against the societal norms because
it is.
Right, really because remember, you're trying to not be an inconvenience to anyone around you.
Right.
Right, so having your phone on the train, making Google... What?
Well, I was going to say, like, even on the train, like, your phone is basically put on vibrate, or even when you have, like, headphones in your ears and you're listening to music, you want to make sure it's not too loud because you don't want to disturb the other person.
Right.
They're very they think about a lot... Sorry.
Hey, they think about the middleman a lot. The normal man, because if their day is fucked up, that kind of leads to some other things getting fucked up. So you got... It's like... Everything is balanced.
Yeah. I like the fact that their culture is, like, very... They think about the other person. They're not so, like, thinking about themselves.
Right.
I like that.
So, yeah, like...
But they take it too far.
Yeah. So, like, your PDA, and they think about marriage faster because, it's more of a stabilization factor. You do take care of your mom and dad, which is fine if your mom and dad, as old people, don't suck. Because then that's fair. You can watch your parents, or your family can watch the parents, as long as like you're able to.
Right.
That's the problem. See, now over there, that's fair because they make it easily to take care of your parents.
Right.
Over here,
it's
over
here,
as easy.
Yeah. Like, if you go to Japan, you'll actually find, like, a 30-year-old living with his mom, and that's normal. That's perfectly normal over there. But if it's here in America, it's like, you don't have your own house yet? Oh, ew. Over there, they're very big on, like, family. So, like I said, you can find a middle-aged man living with his mom, and that's totally normal.
Like, is it, do I want to say Latin American or Hispanics? I think I want to go with Hispanics at this point.
Sure.
Let's go with Hispanics, because we're not talking about Latin American.
Hispanics, and to be fair, like, we are Hispanic ourselves.
Yeah, Hispanics and, like, Mexicans, and, they're kind of big on the family deal.
Oh,
proof of that is Coco, the movie Coco.
Remember me.
We can sing that later, okay?
I'm sorry, that's the first thing that comes to my mind every time.
We can do that later. All right, we're good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Romance is different, and that's okay, and that's normal. So we got that. You're talking to this person, and that's okay. Now, as a foreigner, you probably will not get a Japanese girlfriend.
Or foreigner girls, Japanese boyfriends, yeah.
Right, 95% of the time. You get that rare 5%, but mostly 95%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
you're too weird.
Unfortunately, just like you said, that's just kind of normal. Like blonde hair, blue eyes, or even like green eyes, you're not going to see that a whole lot in Japan. Now, you do have, because of course, interracial couples, I guess, are on the rise,
On the rage? It's a trend? I would say on the rage.
I don't know if it is, but it's
because it's like, interracial. Yeah. It's a rage. Like,
which is cool because, like, I'll actually go ahead and name, like, some YouTubers here. Also, like, go follow them. Gin and Juice. You have an African-American woman.
But follow us first.
Gin and Juice. You have an African-American woman, and then you have a Korean man. They are married or dating. I forgot, like, where they're at in there. And they have 2 beautiful children.
Right.
And I think that's awesome. Then you have this other married couple where it's like, I think this girl is Russian or some European, and she's married to a Korean. Then you have, I think they're called international couple. Then you have Jin and Hattie. Sorry, I legitimately love these two so much. They're so cute. You have the English girl from Britain, and then you have a Korean boyfriend. Now, actually, not boyfriend, now fiance. Which.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, sorry. Right. I adore these like interracial couples.
You're fine. It's fine.
I love them.
Those are your like celebrity couples for you. Woo.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now we talk about your social life and your girlfriends, because making friends and having a girlfriend is hard because you're a foreigner. We'll talk about I'll say overtime. And in the workplace, there is no overtime. I mean, there is overtime, but you don't get paid for that overtime. Right. Which, because you're expected.
It's expected of you to put in your 110%.
Right. Now, the problem here is vacation, where we all are happy to take our vacation because, let's face it, our jobs kind of suck, or hey, we saved up enough money to finally go do that thing we've always wanted to do.
Right.
It's not frowned upon, but it does look bad if you do take vacations.
It is. But, however, Japan has a lot of holidays. More so than
Which is fair. I'll give you that. Hey, I mean, since it looks bad to take vacation, we need you to de-stress somehow. So have some more holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you do take a vacation, there's a thing called omiyage, where you just bring back a little souvenir for a lot of your coworkers, which is actually something that I did when I first started working at my new job.
Nice.
I visited another city where I live, and I took my guy with me. And it was a nice, week, which is like a standard, time away from work. I actually brought back souvenirs for everyone because that was my way of just saying, hey, you know what? Thank you for... I thought of you, and also, hey, thank you for picking up the slack while I was gone, so here's, my thanks. Oh, nice. Which I must admit, I kind of like that. It was stressful finding the right gifts for them, but it was fun because I got to kind of also, think about them. I like... So, first of all, I work at a men's... clothing store, right? Yeah. So we have our tailors, and then of course we have everyone else who's basically like a consultant, a fashion consultant. Mm-hmm. And I saw this like little desk ornament that said "Genius at Work," and I'm like, oh, this is the Taylor's right here. And so I got that for them, and to this day he still has it like
nice
on his desk right there. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's cool. I like that.
Nice. I thought that was nice. Mm-hmm. So like we've talked about overtime and vacation hours. Now you've probably got a headache, right? You've probably got a headache from working so long. You're tired. Maybe you want a coffee or maybe a little pick-me-up of medicine. Well, guess what? Health is weird. Health is weird.
Yeah.
These are my official notes. If you hear me say in a clipped way, health is weird, that's basically because I wrote it down like that because it kind of gets the entire thing. Over-the-counter medication is a little bit more expensive for what you get compared to America. Kind of makes sense. Kind of. Yeah. I'm not too sure, but it made sense to me at the time. But you get your bang. You get your bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of weird, shady areas. You're just like, the fuck.
Oh, you're talking about the red light district?
No, I was talking about the clinics.
Oh.
Now, some of those clinics are just kind of. You're just like, what the fuck is going on in here? Mm. But if you go to an actual hospital, I'm like, that is like one of our good hospitals, and that's probably like their least all right, so because service is a thing over there compared to us, we kind of have crappy hospitals and then we have good ones and you pay more for those. Over there it's like their crappy hospitals is on par with our good hospitals. So it's like, okay, thanks guys.
Yeah. It's like we mentioned before a lot of times about Japan. It's expected of them to do great. So I mean, you can imagine like the crappiest service, and if you go to Japan, it's probably going to be like an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Honestly,
I will also point out their health fare or welfare, I forget, for old people. You know, they can, you know, they do pretty well. So they can just be old.
Yeah, like I said about Japan, it's legitimately a nursing home.
Yeah, it's pretty much true.
A lot of people respect their elders, and I get that because us, you know, me and Celestales being like Hispanic, oh yeah, it's ingrained in our brains as a kid to respect thy elders. But Japan takes it to like a whole other level. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm.
Now that you've gotten your medicine, you're left work, you're probably out there trying to, you know, chill before you go home. I would like to introduce Yami Kawaii. I'm sorry, Yami Kawaii.
Yami Kawaii.
Which is Japanese for sick cute. It is a fashion trend that's on the rise. If I had to compare it to anything, I would compare it to pastel goth. Not exactly pastel goth, but you kind of get a better idea of what you're dealing with.
And I know the exact thing that you're talking about. I don't know if it's still on the rage, but I do like that it makes a statement, because here's the thing about Japan. As far as mental health.
Drink this shitty sake.
Japan, I think you're awesome, but as far as mental health, I'm sorry, this is probably just the sake talking. Fuck you guys.
That's not the sake talking. They don't really offer mental health.
No, they don't. Like
video.
They do now. They're getting a little better with it now. But are they anything like America? Absolutely the fuck not.
I mean, even America has its problems, but they're a little bit better about it. Mm-hmm. The videos that Soto Senpai had sent me to watch did say. I went to a doctor to talk about like being sad. He's like, "Oh, you have depression? I try being happy."
Now, to everyone over there that has dealt with parents like that, yeah,
be happy.
I'm
trying to be happy, and we're not even talking about the clinical depression where you're just clinically depressed. Mm-hmm. We're talking about just you being sad, and they just literally tell you, "Be happy."
Yeah, I must admit that when I first watched that video, I almost cried because I'm just like, because here's the thing, like, I'll be honest and transparent right now. I'll probably be the sake talking. I swear, it's the sake talking, because normally
pretty sure
I would
it's
not.
the shitty sake talking.
I did mention like ADHD, but I also do like suffer a lot about, from depression. And there's a lot that goes into it. But I'll have my days where it's just like, I can get through this, I'm good. And then there's just those days where it's like, I need to cry. And I've actually texted you about that pretty much, haven't I?
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like everyone needs to cry. It's just like how everyone needs a cuddle or just someone to be like, hey, man, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's
Whereas,
good.
like, I'm one of those people where it's like, you can reach out to me and be sad if you want. And then I'll be like, listening to you. I won't be the one to, like, reach out to you if I'm sad about something. Like, I'll probably... What I've started doing for a lot of my friends here is, like, I'll let them know if I'm sad. But, like, I also kind of push them away, unfortunately. And for anyone that deals with depression on a daily basis...
everyone's different.
Yeah.
So it's best to understand your limits. Mm-hmm. And what Soto does is she tells people now she does it. She tells people she's sad, and that's her technically reaching out, and so we try to work with her at that point. So everyone's a little bit different in how they do stuff and whatnot. Maybe that person that's like, go away, don't talk to me. Maybe,
which is how I used to be.
Right. Maybe they don't want to talk, but they're pushing you away. Maybe they just want you to just kind of just sit there and deal with like, don't talk to me, and you like just don't leave them, because it could just be how they react. So yeah, this mental health is weird, and you're dealing with
I must admit, Japan is awesome, but there's so much stress that's put on a lot of the people because of all the societal quote unquote norms,
which is why you got Yami Kawaii.
That, and you also have the suicide forest, which we could go on about that one, but basically
I think
we could,
yeah,
but like I said, we're not gonna. So basically, in this forest, it is known for the place where people go to like take their lives. However, it's now getting better? ? I don't know how much better.
It was getting better. Then it kind of started dropping again when COVID hit, because now you're just kind of trapped in your house. Your tiny house, hearing everyone there.
Whereas, unless you're like me and the COVID hit and you're just like, absolutely nothing changed.
Exactly. And that's a good way as we jump into Harakiri and Seppuku.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
No, we're not going to talk deeply about it. But it's a nice fact because in case like you do come across these two terms, Seppuku would be just kind of just suicide, right?
So it's a samurai code, basically, where seppuku is like, you honorably die in a way, which I must admit, I can see where you're going with this, but fuck no.
And then there's harakiri, which was a declaration suicide, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. There was a lot of people back in the day where, like, they would just...
But they're basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's to you, Vlad the Impaler.
As we kanpai Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
The Dracula of our time.
Or the asshole.
No, he was what Dracula was kind of based off of.
Still an asshole.
Still an asshole.
Yeah, he would basically show his power by putting out the bodies of his enemies on sticks, and it would start by him putting I'm laughing because I just watched an anime about this, which is hilarious. So it's not hilarious, but if you watch this anime, anyways, I'm not going to get into that. Vlad the Impaler would take his enemies, and they were still alive, might I ask, or I'm just going to let you know, and he would get a big stick, shove it through their anal cavities until
we're good here. That was Halloween-esque. We're here to talk about.
Until it reached the end, which was their mouth.
I hated you. I hate you. You know what?
Plus, he's also known to feast on the flesh of his enemies, to drink their blood.
So I'll say fuck you in kawaii voice.
Oh, okay. You want me to
be like,
get into
fuck
that?
you. Say it like that.
Fuck you.
I don't know. Was that funny enough?
Was it? I don't know.
Fuck you, bitch. Nah.
Fuck you, bitch.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny, bitch. Oh. As we stand out in Tokyo Square and everyone stares at us, fuck you, bitch. As we stand out in Tokyo Square. Oh, what a day. But I think that's it.
Wow. Again, time flies when you're having fun with friends.
Insane... I mean, do we still have liquor left?
We do, but do you want to drink it?
I want to finish the bottle.
You do? Then we're going to do this.
Shit,
if you want to, we'll go ahead and we'll just finish off this last bit of sake. And I'll do this, Tony, because it wasn't the best for you. There we go.
Oh, thank God. She poured me a lesser volume. Thank you. And our wine glasses. Now, what can we take? I know what we can do. Sure. Every Insane Truth should have what can we take away from this. That way we can get most of the main points across and what we feel that we learn and other stuff. You know, I think that'd be interesting.
Well, we'll go ahead and actually go back on the old podcasts that... Not the latest one, like... old podcast. So not the one where it was like high intentions? Was that what you called it?
Oh, with Justin?
Yeah.
Because it was high interruptions.
High interruptions, there you go.
Because the man was interrupting everything I had there. Which is still funny. It was very entertaining. It was entertaining, yes. But
the one before that, when it was me.
For you, I think... Just look it up. Fuck it. But for you, it had to be something...
But we were talking about a lot of the, like, gender norms, I think it was.
Societal norms and whatnot.
There we go.
Societal gender topics.
Right. I think we talked about this in that podcast, but you have people that are not extreme, and then you have the ones that are extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, balance. And
moderation.
Right. Pardon me.
I will pardon nothing! I want to say that.
Finally, you were able to say that.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it was pardon, and you'll fucking deal with it.
Keep going. Societal gender topics.
Yeah. Am I gonna... So... I'm not saying that Japan is like... How can I say this?
Just like any other country.
Yeah.
Japan has its good sides and its downsides, and it's a scale.
There's two sides to every coin.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. Everything's different depending on who you are, where you live, where you came from, and that's normal. And I think that's something we could take away from this.
Absolutely.
Besides the fact that our first half, where we got them in the first half, we talked about sake. Right. And then we started talking about, like, all this other shit. We got them in the first half. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, if anything you could take from this Insane Truth episode, I'm going to call it Insane Truth's Sake, which is going to be a misnomer because it's misleading, because we do talk about sake in the first half.
Mm. By the way, do you still do your streams?
No.
You don't?
Well, it's mostly because I was working getting a new pace.
Oh, okay. So I guess for the next couple minutes, we'll just go ahead and, I don't know. This is your podcast. Yeah, I'm just following you.
Yeah, I know. So I would like to thank excuse me. I would like to thank Soto Senpai, our tour guide for today, on our journey to Japan, the Red Sun. We didn't talk about a lot of Japan.
You mean Rising Sun?
Yes. Our Rising Sun, Japan. We didn't talk a lot about Japan. We talked about, like, the normal day-to-day of Japan. And we talked about sake. But it was nice to have her there because she is very informative about what we're doing here. And it's been me, your host, Kitsune Kenpai. Kitsune Kohai.
What did I say about me that Jack?
Sorry. Anyway, so with Soto Senpai here, I'd like to thank you all for listening to our Insane Truth Sake episode. And I liked it. Did you like this?
Absolutely. I was actually upset that I couldn't be a part of the last one, but that was actually because I fell asleep. I legitimately fell asleep.
That was the sake talking. Because you didn't need to say that until after the episode.
Oh. So no, I did tell you that I wanted to be a part of it, but then like my body's like, fuck you, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yep. So thank you for being here, Solo Senpai.
It's always a pleasure, especially since I get to hang out with you.
And since it was a sake episode, I bought her sake for said informational episode, which I do want to grab my friend that likes more Norse mythology and buy him some mead, because that is a trip and a half, and I would like to hear what he's got to say. So are you almost done with your sake? Okay, she's almost done. So you know what? We'll send off here. That was the end of Insane Truths. It's been a real one with your host Tony. Why don't you say goodbye, Soto?
Minasan, mata ne. Because here's the thing. Usually you'd be like, oh, sayonara. Sayonara is actually just be like it's the most dramatic way of being like, we are parting, and who knows when our paths will cross again. Right. Whereas mata ne is like, hey, see you later.
What's minasan?
Minasan is just everybody.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make you listen to this again and write down all the words in the description. I hope you remember this. Well, I'm going to make you remember.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of basic stuff from, like, when I first started out. Mm-hmm. Like, I haven't picked up a Japanese textbook because depression just fucking sucks.
Okay. We're okay. So, it's been real. Your host, Tony, Katsune Kohai, Katsune-kun, with me, my special guest. We're doing this again because it just feels nice to do it again. With me and my special guest, Soto Niwa, Soto-chan, Soto Senpai, Soto Sensei, so she's doing some weird poses that you can't see.
I'm sorry, like I stopped mid sentence because it's been a while since people call me Chan, and every time someone calls me Chan, I'm like, my heart kind of flutters a bit. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's it for today. Bye-bye.
Mata ne, minasan.
Mata ne, minasan.
Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.
Which is good night.
Oi!
Yeah, oyasumi nasai.
I didn't know what time we were recording this. And you guys have a great dawn, day, dusk, twilight. Did I miss anything?
You good.
Alright, cool. See ya.